Today, we're diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. We're talking about an AI that isn't just designed to work for us, but to actually learn from us, almost like an apprentice. This is all about an AI that's trying to genuinely understand, not just, crunch the numbers.
So just let this statement sink in for a second. It feels totally backwards, right? We're all hearing about AI taking jobs, and then this AI company, XAI, comes along and starts hiring people to be its teachers. And not just any teachers, teachers in one of the most creative fields out there, making video games.
And that really is the million-dollar question for this whole thing. If these AI models are so incredibly powerful, why would they go back to the oldest way of learning there is, the master and the apprentice? What is it that a human artist knows that a machine, even with access to literally all the data in the world, still has to be taught?
All right, let's get into it. To really get the why, we first have to understand the what. So what exactly is Grok? The name itself is a massive clue. Grok actually comes from a classic sci-fi novel, and it means to understand something so completely, so deeply, that it becomes a part of you. This isn't just about processing facts. It's about getting to a profound, almost empathetic level of understanding. Their whole mission is baked right into the name.
So how is this different from the AI you already know? Well, if you think about its big competitors, they're mostly focused on casting a wide net, analyzing huge amounts of data and processing language. Grok is playing a totally different game. It's built from the ground up to collaborate, to pull that special human thing, that creative intuition, right into its own learning process. It's a specialist, going for depth, not just breadth. And that leads us right to the heart of their whole strategy, what they're calling the apprenticeship model. This is a big shift in thinking. It's not about humans being users of a tool, it's about humans being the master craftspeople passing on their skills. This whole thing really kicked off back in October of 2023. That's when XAI officially put out the call. They started looking for talented game developers, not to just use their software, but to actively teach and shape the AI itself. This was a very real, very deliberate move. What's really cool is how their own hiring process kind of mirrors their whole philosophy. Yeah, they use AI for the efficient stuff, like screening all the applications. But when you get to the crucial stages, like the actual interviews, that's all human. It's this perfect blend. Let the AI handle the data, but let humans judge the really important stuff like creativity and passion. So, and this is the key, this isn't about teaching the AI how to code a tree into a game. It's about teaching it why a certain art style makes you feel a certain way, or why a specific story beat hits so hard. It's all about transferring that gut feeling, that creative intuition that you can't write down in code, the stuff that makes a good game truly great. Now, obviously, whenever you have a new model this radical, it's going to spark a huge debate. Is this a tool that's going to empower a new wave of creators, or is it something that's eventually going to replace them? Let's just break down the two sides of the coin here. On one hand, the promise is massive. This could totally democratize game development, giving tiny indie studios the kind of power that only huge publishers have now. It can mean we get more diverse, more personal games. But the fear is just as real. People are understandably worried about jobs, about who owns the intellectual property, and whether an AI can ever really protect a game's artistic soul. And here's one of the biggest potential shifts this could cause. For decades, a lot of the power in game development has been with the programmers, the people who could actually make the game engine do what the artists were dreaming of. Well, tools like this could flip that script entirely, empowering the artists and designers to bring their vision to life directly without needing to be a coding genius. Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute and look at the bigger picture here, because this isn't really just about video games. It's about the entire future of creative work. And believe me, the stakes are sky high. We're talking about an industry that's already worth over $260 billion, and it's projected to soar past $300 billion in just a couple of years. Any tech that changes how these games are made is going to send massive ripples through the economy. Now look at this number, 60%. That is the percentage of jobs that experts think will need to significantly adapt by the year 2050, all because of AI. The story of Grok and these game developers, it's like we're watching a small-scale preview of a huge society-wide shift in how we think about work and skills. And when you put it all on a timeline, you realize just how fast this is all happening. So Grok starts its apprenticeship program in 2023. Some experts are projecting that a future version could reach artificial general intelligence, that's AI with human-like thinking, by late 2025. This isn't some far-off future we're talking about. It's happening right now.
So what does all this tech talk mean for you, the person actually playing the games? Well, it means the games you play are about to get way more interesting. Imagine playing in worlds that are richer and more complex than ever, with gameplay that actually adapts to you personally. And imagine getting more amazing, innovative games from small teams who finally have the tools to make their dreams a reality. So, at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway here is this. Grok's approach might just point to a future where AI isn't our replacement, but our ultimate creative partner. A tool that makes our skills better, amplifies our vision, and handles all the grunt work so we can focus on the stuff that really matters. And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In a world where an AI can be an apprentice, where it can learn things like intuition, creativity, how does our own definition of being a master have to change? What's it going to mean to be an expert in the world of tomorrow?